It's day 2 of car camping of car camping chronicles. So I didn't post. This is pretty much only one of my friends knows what I'm doing right now. It's not because I have a lack of money or anything like that. There's always room for more money. I have savings. I can afford to pay my rent. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's just I'm intent on learning to do things differently. I guess going against the norm, not to be rebellious, but I don't know, at any moment things could change. I was like, thank God in my lifetime I've never had to say like experience war, hunger. I mean hunger, yes, but I mean, like mass hunger where there isn't food at the grocery stores. I've never had to experience that myself. Um so I don't really know what it is as to why I this idea got into my head. I guess I like the freedom just like as a lot of other people, and I'm finding it so far. I know it's only day 2 and there's a lot that I still have to go through and a lot that I have to learn, and obviously as to my feelings as to how I feel about this car camping deal would highly be dependent upon location. Right now, um I am not going to disclose where I'm at. I will later in the future, but as of right now, I will not. Safety concerns and whatever. Um, I am employed, so it's how could I say? Obviously, anybody that I work with would not know. I'm not close with anybody at work like that. I moved to the area for the purpose of work, and I rented a place, like an extended monthly rental place, just to make sure that this is what I wanted to do, where I wanted to stay. Because I actually rewind. Before that, I came with the intent of finishing up a class, and so the class qualified me to take a state exam, which then if I passed, then I would that would qualify me for a certain type of employment, which is what I'm here for. And that type of employment, this all has to do with my savings plan, would be like I have to get in a certain number of hours to qualify for, say, like a level 2 certification. And so with the level 2 certification, it's more desirable for the travel assignments that I'm interested in taking on. So actually, that is also kind of what sparked, aside from my desire for freedom, but it all goes together because my wanting to do travel assignments is also like a quest for freedom, and also like, financial, like physical freedom, I guess, in location, and then also financial freedom, because those jobs, not everybody's willing to be away from their family or friends for, say, months at a time, weeks at a time. And those are things that I have proven, even though this is, I guess, like a new field for me. It is entry level, but the pay is good. It can be good depending on how you set your life up and your schedule and stuff like that. And being able to afford, that's the prime key, is that I'm able to afford to not pick up shifts. So basically right now, and I can go into that later, just for another time, but the any shifts that I pick up is because there's a bonus attached to it. I'm like, I'm not gonna work for this hourly rate. It's too much physical. I'm used to physical labor, but the thing is that I'm not going to cause myself irreversible strain or damage, let's say. And I'm a strong person. I work out. Actually, I'm here at the gym. I went this morning. I woke up, got my coffee. There, woo woo, got my coffee. I signed up yesterday for this it's a $5.99, so that should kind of give you an idea as to where I'm at. It's a $5.99 sip and save program. Again, back to my savings and practicality and stuff like that. So like you get to get a coffee, or it doesn't have to be a coffee. It could be like any size drink. No, any size drink up to 64 ounces. So that could be like an iced coffee, soda pop, whatever. And then the monthly subscription is only $5.99. And I'm like, what? So I got a car kettle, like a 12-volt car kettle, to heat my water for like coffee and stuff like that, because in anticipation that I was going to be doing this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to need hot water. I didn't opted not to do the inverter deal. So any of you that have been considering like car camping, I'm in a Prius, let's say, so you get the gist of what I'm talking about. But for others, I will go back and touch on a lot of the expand on the points that I'm touching on right now. So anyways, but I'm like, I thought that even at $5.99, I was like, hey, yeah, I could heat up my water, because obviously my water kettle arrived yesterday and I haven't even had a chance to try it out. But I figured I'll use that later today for ramen or something. I'm really excited to use it. And but I figured that I was like, yeah, $5.99. I'm like, what? That's like that's gonna save me money right there. This girl's all about saving money. I'm trying to do things, learn to live for free, which a lot of people might be like, oh yeah, right, but I mean, it just obviously it costs money to feed me, right? Even though I'm just a party of one right now. But or learn to live as close to free as possible. So that is meaning being very mindful of my expenses, the way I do things, alternative ways of doing things. I still have a good time, I still go out, I still enjoy myself, and I do a lot of those things that other people probably might not even get a chance to do because of financial restrictions. And I'm not saying, I'm not wealthy, far from it. I plan on being that one day, but not right now. And hopefully in time. I'm kind of a tomboy when it comes to certain things, so I don't need like a fancy 5-star hotel. Doesn't excite me. I'm like getting dirty in the mud. I'm like rugged. Ooh, sorry, it does excite me. But okay, so this is day number 2. Rambled on a little bit, or actually a lot. So I'm outside of the gym. I already had the gym membership, so prior to me deciding to do this, going to the gym has been a regular part of my life to keep healthy. What was I gonna say? So this morning I woke up. I have the option of picking up a shift later, so I will be going into work later. But I'm like, you know what? I'll get there when I get there. And that is the freedom that I have been allowing myself. So I haven't officially picked up the shift, but I will. We get to do it through an app. So then as soon as I do that, then I'll have to report, say like within, I think it's like 45 minutes thereafter. So, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather working out is more important to me, because I've kind of fallen off the wagon. And so I'm going to do that, get a good start to my day, get a good start to this adventure that I'm going through, and still sorting myself out as far as like finding places like where to sleep and stuff like that, how my daily routine is going to look like. And so that's why it's actually, I want to go to pick up the shift, because I'm like, okay, if they were to call me into work, because that's not uncommon in what I'm doing now, they were to call me, hey, we need somebody in, can you be here within 15 minutes? I'm like, is my set up here within my car, which is a horrible, disastrous mess right now, is how can I do this efficiently, like with minimal frustration and getting ready in my day, right? So I have minimized so much. But so aside from my one friend that knows that I'm doing this, and I don't think she fully understands either as to why, because when I said car camping, she thinks she means like for like a weekend. That I meant like for, yeah, let me go do this for a weekend and go hang out in the woods or whatever, which is something that I do, but I'm saying that I want to do this. Let me try this for, I don't know how many months. Let me try this for as long as I can tolerate it. And if I ever get tired of it, which I'm sure there are probably pros and cons, whatever. It's new right now. I'm excited. I'm enjoying that part. But I also recognize that there might come a point where I might want to be in a building, like, like within 4 walls. So I'm like, I do have money for that, and I have allowed for that. I was like, if I want to rent a room for a week or whatever, then I'll rent a room for a week or for a month or whatever. It's not with outside of financial possibility. But so it is day 2. So you can see I'm out here. It's like 6 in the morning. I pulled up by the gym. I'm gonna get my bag together right now, sort out my hot mess over here, and I promise you this little car camping setup is not as fancy as most other people. I did prior to this, I've been thinking about this. We are in the end of January, and so I've been I guess researching, obsessing pretty much as to doing this since like October of last year. So October 2021. I was in a different situation then, but so that was October, November, December, January. So like for the past 3 months, I've been obsessing about doing this, and so now I'm like finally doing it. And even though I recognize that I wasn't fully prepared, like in the setup and stuff like that, that I was like, you know what, but in my research, there's a lot of people that have done like conversions and stuff like that, like van conversions, car conversions or whatever. And at least any one of them would say that there was maybe like 3 to 5 things, major things that they would change in their design. And these are for people that built out their own vans, their own cars, that did it themselves. And even having done it themselves, they failed to consider certain things. So before I get all crazy, rip out my seats and build platforms or anything like that, I want to first see what my day my day-to-day life is going to look like, because I do intend to live in my vehicle as I work. And I work at least full time, meaning like at least 40 hours, anywhere more on average like 60 hours a week. And so that's another thing. So I wasn't really finding the value of me paying such a high amount of rent, especially since the fact that this is not my home and I'm not setting roots here. I mean, home is wherever I'm at, but y'all know what I mean. This isn't where I'm gonna be like in 5 years or 3 years or even 2 years, probably not even by the end of the year. So I do have plans of one day buying a home, and hopefully cash. And so, or at least, if not, at least a hefty down payment. But I want to see how I wanted to get. I was anxious to get started to see what my day-to-day life was gonna look like. Living out of my car. I'm not homeless. I could go get an apartment, whatever, it's and I don't feel bad about it, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm gonna be, what is the word, mindful, tactful. I was like, not everybody sees the world as I do, and I just don't want for any unnecessary talk to spark, I guess you could say. So I'm just gonna keep my matters to myself, between me and you. And have a nice day.